Girl, get in here so I can tell you my business. What is up, y'all? I'm Ebony. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you're looking at the title, yes, we're talking about bipolar disorder and the things that people just they do not see when it's just outside looking in, or things you wouldn't think someone with bipolar disorder is struggling with. My video is obviously just about me and my experience, so let's get into it. I identified 5 top things that are kind of going on in my world, and I have my other phone here, so I'm just going to be looking down at my phone to talk about some of these things because I just feel like people mental health is so complicated, right? It's so complicated, and I think that the more that you talk about it, the more it reveals layers and pieces that people might not have put together. It's not just an open shut type of book. A lot of it goes together. So let's get into it. So first things first, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder last year in June. So it has officially been over a year since my diagnosis. I had a full-blown psychosis episode. I'm going to do a whole video on like my episode, staying in a mental health facility, all of that in another video. But yes, I had a full-blown psychosis episode and I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder 1. And so some of the things that I feel like people don't see since my diagnosis, I'll start off strong with like work. So I work for a Fortune 500 company and I work in a very high paced work environment. I just feel like when you come into the workspace, it's almost like we talk about mental health all the time. We have lots of resources that we offer to our coworkers and our employees for mental health. However, when you actually share that you have a mental health like thing or an ism or whatever, or that you're on medication for something, people are like, oh my God, I would have never thought, what? Oh my God. Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. Like it's just, I just feel like there's a lot of things that are textbook. And I think a lot of people rely on their knowledge of something via the textbook. And then when they actually meet a physical representation of the textbook thing, they are shocked or surprised that it doesn't match what they read in the textbook. Like, do you think I'm going to come to work acting crazy? Is that like when somebody tells you, hey, yes, I have bipolar disorder. I did have an episode or whatever. Like, they're like, oh, I would have never pegged you to have that. You're so good at what you do. You're so high functioning. You are so analytical. And I'm like, do y'all not know that mental health doesn't have a face? It doesn't decide. It doesn't choose. Like, it's anyone can struggle with something mental health. So that's a big one. I just feel like people are just not like really prepared in their head for like the fact that mental health can look very different on different people. And yeah, just the response is just sometimes a little bit tone deaf, if you will. The second thing that people don't see, having to take medication every single day. When I went to a mental health facility, I spent 7 days there. When I started to come up out of the psychosis and realize where I was and realize the impact that this is having on my life, I was terrified. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in this mental hospital forever. And my mom was like, no, you're not. You're going to get out. Like, that's not how this works. And I was just like, that was still a little bit in mania, but I was just like, I'm never getting out of here. I'm stuck here forever. Like, my whole life is ruined. And when you start taking your medication and taking it every day, it does start to work. And after I started to take it and I felt clearer, I felt more like myself, I realized I got to take this medication every day. I got to make sure that I am on my medication routine, my regimen every day, because I have way too much to lose. And when I tell people, some people, I don't tell everybody, but when I tell people I take medication every single day, baby, without fail, because I have too much to lose. You see that car seat in the back? I have a 4-year-old and I love him. and I want to be there for him, and I want to provide for him, and I want to show up for him every single day. So I'm taking my medication every single day. Does it get a little arduous? Does it get like frustrating at times? Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I just don't feel like taking my medication. Yeah, but I show up and I take that medication every single day, and being able to be consistent in doing that is game changer. It's a game changer. But a lot of people, they don't see the work behind the disorder. They don't see, you trying to get back on track or trying to get your mental health together. They don't realize what it actually takes when you say, I have to take this medication, otherwise I could slip back into mania at any moment's notice. And mania, it creeps up.